Female Empowerment Symposium. Last time we had a group of panelists, and from your surveys that you completed, your evaluations, and we thank all of you for completing those, all of you who did complete it, because you gave us very valuable feedback. Many times, again, within Bridges, we do things that sometimes may not seem to make sense to you, but it definitely makes sense to us because we are the people who are working with you behind the scenes. We are the people who are aware of the personal struggles you're dealing with that everybody that you see on a daily basis may not be aware of. So sometimes we do these things and we have mandatory things and you're like, oh my God, why I gotta be here? I'm telling you, there's many times I went to things, didn't want to be there, but whatever I was doing at that moment, I took a nugget of something that I could take and apply in my personal life or my professional life. And that's what networking, that's what going to these things are about. That you pick up something. It doesn't have to be everything. You may not agree with everything, but that you open your mind, open your heart to pick up something that you can use and apply in your personal lives, in your professional lives. Many of you still have so far to go, so many big dreams that you have. And these are the types of things that will help you reach those dreams. There were plenty of things that I did as a teenager, as a young adult, that I was like, man, how is this going to benefit me later? And I tell you, you are a witness to it, because I am a product of all those things that I had to do, all of those things that I had to go to. So we thank you for being here. I have a few announcements, and then we're going to get started. Just if you look at your program, I'm going to run through that with you so you kind of have an idea of what to expect for today. Okay, first announcement. Well, before I even say that, you guys look really, really nice. Yes. Really, really nice. Really nice. I don't know why I didn't do business casual the last time, but you guys look really nice. So give yourselves a hand. All right, first thing, Ms. Joy may have mentioned it. To those who were early arrivals, we are doing HIV testing again today. For the first 100 people, there's a $10 gift card if you're tested. So make sure that you go visit the rooms. They're all posted. Make sure, we're not going to do a mad dash to the rooms, but so we're going to kind of stagger it a little bit. So make sure that you go get tested for that. You should have a ticket attached to your program for your breakout session. That's where you will go. You need to go to your breakout session. If you get it in your head that you're going to sneak off and leave, sneak off. If that's what you feel that's best for you, then that is best for you. However, that's where you need to go. You will sign out in your breakout session. Last time, we took too much time trying to get you signed in. It's a lot of you. If you don't realize it, you outnumber the males in this program. You see this room is full? Pretty much all female that's in Bridges. Failure to sign out will result in you not receiving credit. I do not want anybody sending me an email. You saw me. I was there. This is what y'all did. No, it's your responsibility to sign out. Be patient. Sign out in your room, and then you can have your Friday. Okay? You have 10 minutes from the time we end in here to get to your breakout session. Don't go wandering around. Go to the session so the moderator can get started and you guys can, enjoy that session. It is mandatory to complete the survey. I'm going to send you guys the survey probably tonight when I get home. Make sure you complete the survey. It's about 500 of you. Last time, 269 of you completed it. But 500 of you received financial aid. Am I wrong? Okay. So, fill out the survey, people. We need your feedback. That's how we make programming better. That's how we get better as a staff. We only get better if you give us feedback. Now, some of you give, to be desired feedback, but feedback is feedback. The other thing, as many of you knew, if you didn't come last time, I was not joking when I said it was mandatory. There are some people who didn't get their money for the spring because they did not attend. So make sure you know your friends, they're not here, oh, I got this to do, I got that to do. Then hopefully they'll have a way to pay for their classes in the summer or possibly the fall, okay? So those are all of the announcements I have. Again, we want to recognize our committee members. As always, Bridges is a little staff. We're a mighty staff, but we always want to give thanks to those who are assisting you guys and helping you reach your potential and your dreams. So we have Miss Angelica Morales who's helping us today. Give her a big hand. We have Miss Tracy Godfrey from Osceola. Give her a big hand. We have one of our moderators, Miss Jennifer Mesquite. Give her a hand. Former Bridges student. We have Miss Javon, who's back there killing it. Give her a hand. We have Miss Latasha, who's always ready to assist the Bridges with anything. Give her a big hand. We have Miss Jennifer, the advisor on West. Give her a big hand. We have some of our male images members looking really nice and sharp. Ladies, give them a hand. We have our photographer, Mr. JC from Osceola campus. We have our videographer, Mr. Andre from Osceola campus. That's Andre, Joy. I know. That's Miss Joy Benjamin Felto. Give her a big hand. In the back here, we have some of our work study students, Daisy and Paula. Give them a big hand. We have Miss Barreto from East Campus. Miss Audrey, who used to work with Bridges, always willing to help out. Mr. John, who just loves being with us. Miss Alexia, the staff assistant, give her a hand. And Miss Julex, give her a huge hand. And in his absence, Mr. Eric Gray, he was here earlier assisting us, the staff assistant for Osceola campus. So give him a huge round of applause. Who? Linda who? Oh, sorry. My apologies. Linda's in class, but as always, you guys have very talented people amongst you that you don't know about many times. Linda, again, designed and created the program for you guys today, so give her a big hand. Carissa has been phenomenal, work study student, Bridges student. And Andre, who's serving as a videographer, is also the one who designed the flyer too. So you guys didn't get to meet him last time. All right, so we have a special treat for you today. A Bridges student, that's what I say. You have very talented people amongst you. You don't even know it sometimes. Bridges student emailed us last week, Miss Julex. I have a friend who has a beautiful voice. Can she sing something for the symposium? And I said, sure. She needs to come in and give me a little preview. Because I know how y'all do. I know how y'all do. Particularly one person. I know how you do. So, she came in. Me and Miss Julex was feeling it all the way. I hope you guys enjoyed just as much as we did in our very impromptu concert in my office the other day. So I want to thank Marcia for recommending her, but we're going to have Karali come forward, and she's going to do 2 selections for you guys. Calm down, quiet down.
Hi everyone. Well, my name is Coralie Hayward. I'm an international student here at Valencia, and I'm from Haiti. And I'm really glad to be here. This song I'm going to be singing now is from Damien Marley, one of Bob Marley's songs, and it means a lot to me. I really love it, so hopefully you guys are going to love it too. And it's called There For You. Cha-la-la, cha-la-la-la-la-la, cha-la-la, cha-la-la, cha-la-la. Vexation of spirit is a waste of time. Negative thinking, don't you waste of thoughts. Verbal conflict is a waste of word. Physical conflict is a waste of flesh. People will always be who they want, and not what really makes the world go round. Unconditional love is scarce. No hand forevermore, forevermore, forevermore. You see, you've always been good to me, so I'll be good to you. You always have faith in me, so I have faith in you. Bless your eyes and may your days be long. May you rise on the morning when your kingdom come. With this heart and in the hearts of men. Bless your eyes and may your dreams come true. May you rise on the morning when your kingdom come. With this heart and in the hearts of men. No hand forevermore, forevermore, forevermore. You've always been good to me, mama, so I'll be good to you, father. You've always have faith in me, brother, so I have faith in you, sister. You've always been who, you've always been who, you've always been, you've always been. No hand forevermore, forevermore, Thank you. The next one is from Learn Hill, and I had to learn it. And I had to learn it because the record, yes. I had to learn it yesterday actually, so hopefully everything goes right. And it's called Tell Him. Let me be patient, let me be kind, maybe unselfish without being blind. No, I may suffer, I'll envy and not, and envy will come, 'cause he's all God, and tell him love him. 'Cause he's all I got, he's all I got. And tell him I need him. Tell him I love him. Now I may have faith to make mountains fall, but if I lack love, I am nothing at all. I can give away everything I possess, but that's without love. I have no happiness. I know I'm imperfect, know it all sin, but now that I got older, all childish things in, and tell him I need him, tell him I love him, 'cause he's all I got, he's all I got. And tell him I need him, tell him I love him. Oh, let me be patient, let me be kind, let me unselfish without being lying. No, I'm insuffered, I'll end being mine, and the world comes, 'cause he's all I got. And tell him I need him, tell him I love him, 'cause he's all I got, he's all I got. And tell him I need him, tell him I love him. Oh, oh.
Give her a huge round of applause. It takes a lot of courage to get up in front of your peers. You are excellent job. All right, moving on with the program. I've introduced everybody, and now we're going to have an icebreaker, very briefly, by Miss Graham. And then from the icebreaker, we're going to start the panelist discussion, Real Men, Real Talk, which will be moderated by Miss Jennifer. I will do the introductions for the panelists, and then we will roll on with our day. Miss Tasha.
Good morning, everybody. I know you guys are much louder than that when I see you walking this campus. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Okay, you all look so nice today. I want to do an icebreaker with you all today that was brought to my attention at another session that I was at, a workshop. Even in our professionalism here at Valencia, they have us attending workshops and training sessions and things to help us develop ourselves professionally. And oftentimes, some icebreakers are so short that we don't have the opportunity to really tell them who we really are in a nutshell. My story is long. Does anybody else have a long story? Got a nice story to your life? No? I read your appeals. I know you have stories. Yeah, I do. I'm on the appeal committee too. So let's not lie about that. So what I want to do today is an icebreaker called You in 6 Words. Has anybody heard that before? You in 6 words. So what that is, and let me give you a background about this really quickly. Who is one of the most empowered journalists on television, has her own network? Who said it? Oprah. Who said Daisy? What? Nancy. Oh yeah, Nancy Grace, yeah. Oprah actually came up with this concept, and she learned it probably from someone how to get this on the screen? Oh, one moment. Okay, so it's you, who you are in 6 words. Does anybody think they can sum up something about your life in 6 words? Okay, I'm gonna give one example for myself. I am great all by
myself, girl.
Yes, I am. All of this loveliness. So let's do a quick snapshot so everyone can get an idea. So those of you who are a little shy, here's a little break so you can start mentally thinking, what is your 6 words? I want to go to Italy. What is your 6 words? It doesn't have to be anything deep. It doesn't have to be anything profound, but something about you. Whatever may be on your heart, whatever may be in the plans of your future, presently, past. Okay, I'm going to give you a few moments to write down your 6 words. And then we're going to have a few people who are brave enough to share. Panelists can participate too. So I'm going to ask Dr. Carter you in 6 words.
Oh, man.
I'll give her a moment to brainstorm. Jennifer, West Campus Advisor. What are 6? Is she counting? 1, 2. Marking off a letter.
No one does it like me.
She said, I'm going to pop my collar on that one. Everybody loves her, basically.
I would say dependable, goal-oriented, obsessive, OCD, I'm a little bit, just a tad. Those are the only things I can think of, to be honest. Dependable, goal-oriented, and a little bit obsessive. I want everything to go right all the time. It doesn't happen that way, but those are the things that I know about myself that just kind of stick out. Amazing. Dynamic.
Can we say scholar? Dr. Carter is a scholar. Okay, so ladies, it's your turn. Who wants to volunteer and give me you in 6 words? Yes, thank you. Come on, lady. Can you tell us your name and
Campus.
campus?
Hi everyone, my name is Annie and I'm from West Campus. My 6 words are a sister, a mother, a daughter, an individual, a student, and I'm strong.
All right. Okay, we have a volunteer over here.
My name is Sharon from West Campus, and mine is don't be afraid to take risks.
My name is Karina, and I go to West Campus. I am unbreakable, independent, female, stubborn, beautiful, and
I like that. Unbreakable.
My name is Shirley. I go to the East Campus and future teacher in the making. My name is Bianca, and I've had this one for forever, but I'm at West Campus, and it's be at peace, not in pieces.
Ooh, Bianca.
I like that.
My name is Kaylee. I go to the East Campus, and mine is born feminist, dream doer, equality advocate.
My name is Natalie. I go to Osceola campus, and mine is I want to experience the world.
And she's going to be doing study abroad this summer, so she's living that. Okay, I'm going to get to my backpack here. Can you stand for us and give us your name?
I'm Desiree from West Campus, and I'm true to myself and to others.
These are girlfriends? No? Oh, they don't know. Okay, right over here. With the red and black stripe. Name and campus, please. Yes, ma'am. Come on.
My name is Tashana, and I'm from West Campus, and my 6 words are I will divide and conquer all.
You better watch out for Tashana.
Like 1 or 2 more.
Okay, we have our 2 last ones.
My name is Julissa. I'm from the FDL campus, and my 6 words is I will always do you. Always.
She ended it with the always, if you didn't know. And Clarissa.
My name is Carissa. I'm from the West Campus, and me in 6 word is passionate about creating thy own self.
All right, ladies, you did an awesome job. I want to give yourselves a round of applause. This challenge isn't over for you. So if you weren't able to think of it, you still have time to do this as a personal thing for yourself. What is something you want to do? And what is something you can put that in 6 words? You can make that your dream board. Anybody heard of the dream board before? Kind of create it yourself. You can make it like, anybody seen that episodes of Mary Jane? You can do like the Post-its all over the place, but create something that you can visualize yourself doing. And my young lady here, Natalie, going to study abroad, where are you going? All over. Okay, she's ready to go. So take on that challenge. And we remember from the last female symposium, we had a panelist, Sharice, who talked about don't be afraid to travel and go outside of the country. Okay, so explore those opportunities, take advantage of it, and thank you for participating.
Thank you, Ms. Tasha. Give Ms. Tasha a big hand, guys. Okay, now we're going to get to the part of the show. We are now about to have our panelist discussion. So I want to introduce our panelists to you as I call your name. If you can just come on over, guys, and have a seat. The first panelist for our Real Men, Real Talk, Mr. Dion Felto. Give him a big old hand. He is an aircraft maintenance supervisor with United Airlines at Orlando International Airport. He has been involved in aircraft maintenance for 30 years. He's married to Joy Benjamin Felto. Raise your hand, Joy. They have 2 daughters, Jodian, who's attending Bethune-Cookman University, and Jordan, who is in elementary school. Mr. Felto currently resides in Sanford, Florida. His hobbies include basketball, cycling, anything athletic, and outdoors. Welcome, Mr. Felto. We have Mr. Jorge Valadrez. Am I saying it? I'm sorry. He's the coordinator of Office for Students with Disabilities on Osceola campus. He joined Valencia College in 2010. He worked in the private industry, human resources, organizational development for 8 years. He has a Bachelor's of Arts in Organizational Behavior from Rollins College. Okay, Rollins. He's completing a Master of Science in General Psychology from Nova Southeastern University at the end of this semester, Spain 2014. His interests include diversity, access and inclusion, the communities and families of undocumented immigrants, mental illness and professional environments, and post-secondary academia. Welcome, Mr. Valadez. Sorry, I'm not kidding. We have next Mr. Leonard Bass. Dr. Leonard C. Bass is currently serving as the Dean of Learning Support on East Campus. His career has included leadership roles in all sectors of higher education over the last 15 years. His work on mentoring and strategic program design has been presented at numerous conferences nationally. In addition to his administrative responsibilities, he is also an active bassoonist, teacher, and social entrepreneur. He plays bassoon with the Orlando Concert Band and the Central Florida Community Arts Orchestra. He teaches a new student experience course and bassoon studies at Valencia College. He is co-owner of MBE, a small commercial farming business in Kafue, Zambia, sorry. He resides in East Orlando and is married with three children. Dr. Bass holds a doctorate degree in higher education leadership from Temple University. And last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Jason Horton. Jason serves as a resource campus-wide. He was selected to a member of the Florida Residency Appeals Committee. He's presented skill shops for student staff on tools and skills to successfully navigate the Valencia experience and has been a Bridges to Success mentor, an initiative designed to ensure minority recruitment and retention. He looks forward to a fruitful career in higher education as he considers it to be a great platform to inspire others to believe in themselves. Jason is happily engaged and about to be married in April. Ladies, give our panelists a huge round of applause for agreeing to be here today. to share any information that they can with you. And now Ms. Jennifer Tomlinson will start this part of the.
Well, men, it's very nice to meet all of you all. Thank you for being here. Women, is it nice to meet them today? Yes. And what we want to do is have a real conversation. So that's why today's symposium is called Real Men, Real Talk. So we're hoping that you'll keep it real with us today, right? Okay, so how it's going to work, I have several questions, and they're grouped differently. I have a category of questions called Getting Personal with the Guys. So we're going to get real personal with y'all. Then there's another category called What Women Want to Know. We want you to keep it real in terms of what we need to know how men think in this world. Like I said, I have a lot of questions. Now, I don't want to be the only one asking questions, okay? Let me see how we feel after 2 or 3, and then we're going to give you all the opportunity to ask some questions you might have. Does that sound good? How many of y'all already got questions? I see you honey in the back. So hopefully when we get the ball rolling, you'll be thinking about things, and thinking about questions you can ask. So keep that in mind, okay? Sound good? Okay, so let's get personal. Men. And with this question, I'm hoping that we can I get everyone's attention, please? Thank you. With this question, I'm hoping that you can answer the question, but also kind of reveal a little bit of who you are. Tell us a little about yourself, maybe your background, where you grew up, so on and so forth, if that's okay. So first question, can you tell us about the most influential woman in your life? Can you describe her and tell us why she's important to you? What is it about her that left such a strong impression on you? Go ahead and marinate. Marinate on a second.
I'll answer the question. Is this on? Well, it's easy for me to answer, and that it's such a. I mean, this person almost defines my life. My mother, when she was actually about a lot of her ages, she was about 20, 21. She was born and raised in Honduras in Central America, and at the time she had a 2-year-old daughter, my older sister, and she decided that she wanted to get out of a very difficult situation. They were very poor. And so she immigrated to the United States, at 21 years old with a 2-year-old baby. And some of you might know that's a really treacherous journey. It's really dangerous. People die along this journey. And she did it. She took it. She decided that her circumstances weren't suitable for her and for her family. And so she took that journey. And fast forward 30 years later, it's me, my sister, and my younger brother. My sister's a public school teacher, and she's been a teacher for 10 years. My brother's a combat veteran from the Marine Corps. And then there's me. Eventually I get around to doing something. But it was a successful journey. And so, I spend my life trying to earn her sacrifice. And that's a big part of who I am. And so that's
Well, yes. I would have to say my mother also. My mother started working from 18 years old. I was her first child. She had me when she was 23. But why she's probably the most influential person to me is because the way she went on her business, taking care of us, and mostly because she wanted the best for us. And so she would work 2 jobs, and nothing was ever, within, the thing she used to put to us was, we could be anything. So, and she always pushed us to be the best. She made a lot of sacrifices to make sure that myself and my siblings always had the best music lessons. Any extracurricular activities that would enhance our abilities. And I kind of take some of the things that she has done in wanting to always take risks or take challenges. So I would have to say my mom is probably the most influential woman that I know.
I would say certainly my mother was
was very influential in my life as well. But my wife has been, as of late, I mean, you know, during my formative years, obviously my mother was there for me. She made sacrifices. But my wife of 11 years, certainly you can clap for that. But my wife has showed me a lot about what it means to be a strong woman. Certainly I have not been the perfect husband, but the standard that my wife sets for me as a man and for me as a husband has allowed me to grow and mature in ways that I never thought was possible. Right? My wife doesn't tolerate, you know, nonsense. Right? You know, to put it bluntly, she doesn't tolerate it. She has very high expectations for me. She has very high expectations for our marriage. She has very high expectations for me as a father of our 3 boys. Because of her expectations, every day I strive to meet those expectations. And so what I would say to you is that, you know, it's okay for you to have high expectations of a person that you're going to have a relationship with, right? And because if you don't, then, I mean, no one rises to those expectations, right? And so if you don't expect, you know, a man to have integrity, if you don't expect a man to respect you, if you don't expect a man to love you, then, you know, I don't know about the other 3 guys here, but they won't, right? I mean, we're wired differently, right? We have this kind of passion that lives within us that we have to contain, right? And so if you don't set an expectation for, you know, the men, you know, your partners in your life, then they're going to do what you allow them to do, to you, with you, and so just have high expectations. I mean, so she's really taught me that.
I've been curious to ask if you all can stand when you respond. So you're the first person, if you don't mind, can you stand? The lovely ladies can't see you guys.
High expectations.
High expectations.
It's a lot more intimidating when you stand because I can see everybody. Can you guys hear if I hold it here? Is this good? I'm gonna have to also go with my mother. She kind of set the tone for how it is, how a woman should be treated, what a strong woman is, what it takes to raise a family. So even with my sister, you know, teaching me how to treat her, kind of instilled those principles for me. So my mom would have set the tone for how I treat a woman.
Dr. Leonard, I appreciate what you said. It's a great segue to another question. I think now we kind of want to know, okay, well, we want to get to the what women want to know type question. So can't talk about your mom all day. So the next question is, we're going to get a little personal in terms of like relationships. Man, what does it take for a guy to commit to a woman? Okay. For those that are married or in a relationship, what did it take for you to commit to a significant other? What was it about her that made you want to commit? I'll give you like 10 good seconds to think about this one.
All right, let me give it a shot. So like I said, I learned what it took to build a relationship. My parents have been married now for 36 years. No, that's all right. They had to deal with me, so that's definitely so I knew what I wanted. I didn't know how to get that. I'm going to give all the credit to my fiance for that, kind of showing me what it took to be worth her investing in me. But it was a goal of mine to be in a relationship that was meaningful to me, that was meaningful to her, and that would continue to be meaningful. So it wasn't so much about that immediacy. I know some of us know about that immediacy. So for me, it was easy to be able to commit, finding who I wanted to commit to, being worthy, finding those things, making sure we're compatible. That's the challenge, and I mean, it'll continue to be our challenge, hopefully, for as long as we can. She's not in here, right? Right. Sorry. Okay. It's coming. So it was just, for a man to commit, there's a combination of being worth and being, I don't want to say demanding because it's going to sound wrong, but demanding that they commit. But then also finding someone who's committable, someone who's worth investing in. It doesn't make sense to find someone who knows they aren't going to commit and try and convince them to, because you have to want it. You can't be forced into it.
For me, it was interesting. I met my wife when I was a kid, and we've been together since I was 13. We did go through some regular stuff. When it comes to growing up, you still go through those phases of growing up and establishing trust. And I think that I realized, it took me a while to really be committed, because when you first meet somebody, it's really exciting, and you really fall in love with what you're being presented. But then after some time passes and you see people struggle and go through different things, are they that same person that you met? And I think it's really important to get to that part where the facade is gone, and you really get to know how the person deals with difficulties. You get to see them when they're sad and when they're angry, and the things that they really enjoy and appreciate in life. And I think that when you get to see that, and you still love that person, I think that's when you recognize that this is an opportunity to commit to someone for a long time.
All right, that all sounds good, but I'll give you. As you know, I'm married to Joy. She's over there, and when I met Joy, we met at a function, at a party. I'm from Antigua, in the Caribbean, and she's from Antigua also, but she was visiting her parents for Christmas. And when I met Joy, we met in the crowd. I knew of her, but I didn't know her personally yet. And when we hugged, it was Christmas and everybody's hugging, and when we did hug, I knew we were going to be involved. But anyway, your question is what it takes for a man to commit. I tell you what, from my experience, is you want a woman or you want a lady who's not going to judge, who listens, who's not going to judge and make her own opinions, not opinions from her friends. And no, really, I mean, that's just it. And basically, you want somebody who's going to be a companion, who's going to be a friend first, and because when every day you're not going to feel like you're attracted, like you're in love, because there are going to be issues. They're going to be one-day kids. You're going to have a career. Whatever issues that come up, and you're not going to feel every day that you love somebody or you love the person you're with. But if you're friends, you can get past it. If you have conversation, good conversation, if you speak to each other, if you're open. And so, in my opinion, I think, well, for me to make that commitment was just how she listened. She didn't judge. We were friends, and so I knew that we were going to be here. We were going to be together. So.
And the Christmas hug helped too, right?
Yeah, the Christmas hug did definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
That's a really tough question, which is why I had to go last. Think about it. Because I think that's a question that I know that I ask myself every day, right? I mean, why am I in this relationship, right? It's true. It's true. I mean, you'll see.
Real,
you have
real
kids,
talk, lady.
Real talk. You wanted it. Real talk. You have the pressures of work, and you have the pressures of providing for your wife and your kids, and paying the bills, and keeping, getting them clothed into school, and then they grow up on you. I mean, it's not easy, right? So it's not easy. I mean, I'm in the trenches, so I get it, right? But I think what I tell myself, or I ask myself every day to answer that question, it's this. It's what's the alternative? Right? So if I'm not going to be, if I'm not going to be committed, right? What's going to happen, right? I try to take the long view when I make every decision that I make, right? And what I mean by that is, so I grew up with a mom and a dad, and until I was in high school, I thought, I had one sister, and I had a mom and a dad. And then in high school, something happened where we're watching the news, and my father starts crying because there was a family that was killed in a car accident. And I won't go into the long story, but the short of it is I realized, and I was told in high school, that I had other siblings, right? And then as time went on, I realized that my father wasn't who I thought he was, all right? He didn't live the life that I thought he had lived. And so I'm still kind of dealing with that. But as I get to know some of the brothers and sisters that I have, that he left, he neglected, he just walked away from, and I see the impact that not having a father has on a young child, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. So I think about the collateral damage that would occur if I were to walk away from my wife and my kids. And I just can't do it. I can't do it. Even when I'm tempted, right? Even when, it just feels like I can't go on. I can't continue to deal with whatever it is we're dealing with, and I just want to walk away. I think about the impact that it will have on my children, and I think about how it will devastate my wife, right? And she just doesn't deserve that. I don't think anyone deserves that, right? And I made a commitment, and so I think about the commitment that I made, for better or for worse, right? In good times and bad, right? And death until we part, the only way that we're going to be separated is by death, right? And sometimes, I wish that would come a lot sooner. Hey, I'm human, right? For me.
I'm going to need for you to just go ahead and slow down now. In my mouth.
So that's it. So I just think about the alternative. Right? So I made a decision to commit to this woman, to be a father to my children, and I stick to that, right? And I just hold to that every day. So.
Okay, ladies. I'd like to open the floor to see, were there any questions? I see a hand here, and then a hand here. Do you guys mind coming to the floor? You have a mic over there? Okay. I'll walk over to you.
You going first, Jen?
No, go ahead.
My name is Sakelia B, and I go to West Campus. And this question is for the lovely men over there. What are the top 3 specific characteristics you look for in a woman? And be real.
Top 3 characteristics you look for in a woman, and be real. Why are you afraid to stand up?
All right. Can I take one and you guys take the other 2? There was when we did the icebreaker before, somebody said unbreakable. Unbreakable. And there is a certain level of confidence that is just absolutely beautiful. And I think that a lot of you being here together, you all look very confident and composed. And if you can keep that beyond here, I think that is a quality that the people in your lives will covet.
carry yourself, the way you speak. Confidence, definitely. Your legs.
Real talk. Real talk. Oh my. Oh my.
For real, how you take care of yourself, you know, how you dress, how you wear your jeans, how you wear your shirt. The way you carry yourself, makeup, your hair, all those things come into play. Just how you put yourself together.
So putting yourself together well.
Thank you.
Okay, that was the point.
I would say loyalty, for sure. Yeah, like my wife, I just can't tolerate nonsense, right? So just loyalty, loyal to yourself, a woman being loyal to herself and being loyal to her family, and being loyal to just her dreams and just kind of what she's about. And then love, certainly, the physical is important, right? But it's also just being a friend, right? I mean, that's really important because, at the end of the day, I want someone I can be comfortable with, I can talk to, I can just, kind of share my struggles with, the things that I'm excited about, my dreams. So loyalty, love, and then I would say the last one would be probably integrity. Just someone who just is, just respects themselves. I mean, that is so important, and I think men will tell you, and you'll probably get the impression on the first date, second date, third, when you're just meeting a guy, that they, it's all about the physical. But at the end of the day, like all of, most of these guys have said, it's their mothers that they think about when they think about, the woman that is most influential in their lives, and it's because of the respect that they have for them. So even though there's this initial kind of feeling that it's about something physical, men really want a woman who respects themselves, right? They want, I don't remember, but I should say, I mean, if we're keeping it real, right? I don't remember which rapper said it, but, they want a woman in the streets. And someone else in private. So when you're in that committed, I would say married relationship, that is so important. My wife and I have what we call a 72-hour rule, where she knows within, every 72 hours something needs to happen.
Everybody cool it down.
That's actually backed by research. Right?
You gotta support his evidence with academic research. Can I get some hands for intelligence too? Is intelligence important, Ben? Okay. That's understood, right? Okay. All right. We have a question over here. Your name and your campus.
Hi, my name is Jade. I'm from East Campus. I've been in a relationship for almost 2.5 years, and I mean, things are going really well, but I know you guys have been in relationships for a lot longer than that. So what are some ways, either in struggling times or in good times, that you guys continue to find ways to, I don't know, keep the relationship fresh or overcome those struggles and those arguments and stuff like that?
Question.
That was a really good question. I think I'm in the youngest relationship of the four of us, so I'm gonna talk really short. We talk, and I know I say talk, but it sometimes comes out yelling, mostly on her end. But it's critical that we communicate, whatever style it is, as long as it's functional. We make sure to communicate. I do a really good job of this biting my tongue thing, in a literal way. because sometimes that doesn't end well. And we're, like I said, we're really young, so there's a chance that might stop. But as long as we communicate, we tend to feel a lot better about whatever direction we're going. So I mean, that would be the best advice I can throw. But I would yield to.
One of the things you have to realize is what you have to maintain a sense of individualism also. Whatever friends that you came into your relationship with, I mean your personal friends, as long as they're not bringing you down or they're not going to cause any havoc with your relationship, you have to maintain those friendships. You have to maintain the hobbies that you have, so that there are going to be days when you have to go off and do your own thing. And that's good, because, you know, you can't be, you know, like up on the person 24/7. So you have to have your own life. You have to maintain that a little bit, as long as it's not going to hamper your, you know, your relationship with your partner. I think that's important.
Yeah, I have.
So I would just say, surround yourselves with people who are in successful relationships. That is really, really important, right? I mean, find some, you know, some mentors who can help you. I mean, who have relationships that you respect. You know, if it's family members or people in your community or something, that's really important. You know, to be able to look to models of successful relationships. So, and then you go to them and say, you know, we're struggling with this issue. You know, do you have some advice on like you're asking us, right? Do you have some advice on what we can do to kind of get through it? So that's something that we do a lot. We spend time with, you know, my wife's parents have been married for 28 years. They have a great relationship. So we constantly go to them for advice. People in our church, people that we respect a lot. And so that would be a piece of advice that I give.
All right, we have a question here.
Hello, everybody. I'm Laura from Osceola campus, and my question is, did your wife, or in your case, your fiance, ever ask you to change something about yourself, and did you do it?
My wife dressed me this morning. You know, there are some simple things. Yeah, you know, I don't like it when you do this. I don't like it when you treat it this way. But you know, we've grown together, and when you choose, you know, we talked a little bit about commitment before, and when you choose to commit with somebody, you kind of agree to make some changes as well. So, you know, when you go into a commitment, you go into it knowing that it may require you to do some things different. So yes, my wife has asked me to change in some ways, and some ways I've changed on my own because of her, to make our relationship successful. And I think that rolls back into the whole commitment thing. And so before you step in, know that it may require you to change as well.
We got one more right here, and then we're gonna kind of take it out of the relationship arena just for a second, and then we'll come back to questions if you have time, okay?
Hi everybody.
Hi.
My name is Barbara Mukonye of West Campus, and I had a question for anyone can answer this. What are some of the characteristics in a woman that you absolutely loathe or you cannot tolerate and stand in a relationship?
Absolutely loathe. Loathe. Okay, that's a serious Just word. like. They're trying not to get in trouble, ladies.
Infidelity?
All right.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Very good.
I'm going to go on his thought. There was a question out there before, a relationship that was about 2.5 years, and how do you weather the storms? And I think part of that is trust. And so if you're with someone that you just can't trust, who's deceitful, who's lying, you know, I think that's just a quality that's not going to carry you forward. So deceit, lie.
Very good.
I would say, I don't know if it's profound, but just a woman who doesn't play fair. And what I mean by that is they intentionally do things to that they know are going to upset you. Right? That doesn't make sense to me, and that really bothers me. Right? And so, I mean, early on in my relationship, in my marriage with my wife, I had to just kind of set boundaries to say, don't take it there. So trust, right? Don't trust me unless I've given you a reason not to, right? So let's not have that conversation, right? Just doing things that are just malicious, just to hurt me, hurt my feelings, right? I mean, so if you're upset about something, let's focus on kind of what you're upset about and a potential solution. And I know that's the difference between men and women a lot of times, right? Like, and I'm putting myself in trouble here, but it's okay. Women like to kind of talk about the problems, and men like to solve them. Right? So some people are, actually it's the guys back. But my wife has taught me that, right? My wife has taught me that. She said, when I bring a problem to you, I just want you to hear it, right? And that's the way that I'm processing a potential solution. So when you jump to solution, then, it makes me think you didn't listen to me, you didn't hear me, right? And so, so I get that, right? But don't, give me a problem and then, not allow me to be part of the solution. So that's just one example. And so if she knows that about me, but she's always, putting me in a position where I can't be a part of the solution, then that would be a problem for me. So that's what I mean, play fair. So, but that, so having a successful relationship means that you really know and you have an interest in getting to know a person, what makes them tick, what motivates them, what frustrates them, and those kinds of things. And so once you have that, and once you have, this understanding about a person, you have to cherish that, right? And so when you just totally disregard all of the things that you know and you use those personal things against a guy, then that can, definitely hurt your relationship. And so that's what I said. For me, that is really frustrating when I've opened myself up, I've shared certain things about you, about myself, and you use that against me, you don't play fair, that really upset me.
Just to quickly add to what these gentlemen were saying, also, is you have to understand your relationship is probably never going to be perfect. It's always a work in progress as the years go by. And what you have to recognize is it's going to be evolving all the time. And the important thing is if your partner or spouse does something that that you don't like, that irritates you, whatever, you have to talk about it. So that, obviously they know not to do that next time. But it's going to be changing all the time. As you get older, your idiosyncrasies are going to change also. But it's just putting it out there to let them know, well, this bothers me, and that way you can deal with it. But it's always a work in progress. Right?
Very good. Thank you so much. Okay, so we've gotten a lot of relationship advice, ladies, right? Right now, let's talk about women in the professional world. Okay? So my question for you now is, as women, we already know the struggle of trying to break that proverbial glass ceiling, right? And existing in a male-dominated world where all of our leaders or CEO or executives are males, we're trying to fight against that stereotype. What would be your advice to women in terms of working with men in the workplace and giving them advice on how to move up the ladder in terms of their professional environment? Was that a tough one? I said a lot, I'm sorry. Let me give you a moment to think about it. And you can think about the women you interact with in your own job and what advice you give, like a mentee that's a female to you or something.
I think there's a challenge generally when you step into the workforce for the first time, when you start being a professional. It's an adjustment to learn the decorum of the professional environment. It's very different from what you experience in college and in your own social circles. And I think it's really important that you become familiar with that really early on, so that you know what appropriate behavior is, and that you make decisions about the way that you want to be treated in a professional environment. You know, create your boundaries, decide the kind of professional you want to be early on, and stay committed to it. When you start a job and you start working closely with people for a long time, it could very easily get casual, and when it comes out of that professional decorum, I think it's really easy to become like a boys versus girls like it was in middle school. So decide the kind of professional that you want to be. Learn what the professional environment is like. Set your standards and live by them. Don't compromise. And you know, that's the best advice I can give you. You know, one of the things that a really sad statistic is that men just outpace women in terms of salaries. You guys earn about 25% less than men do. And you know, one of the things that you can do to challenge that is know really early on how you want to be treated and what you expect for your talents. You're bringing talents to an organization. Decide what you're willing to accept for those talents.
Awesome.
Yeah, this isn't how you guys question. So I'm kind of conflicted on this because a lot of the research that I've been reading lately suggests that women are outperforming, girls are outperforming boys in school right now, right? There are a lot of books being written about why boys fail. And I know, a couple decades ago, the literature was kind of really addressing the underperformance of girls, women. So I'm kind of conflicted on this because what the research tells us is that in about 10 years, we're going to be having this conversation with men in the room, and it's starting to happen now, where they're trying to figure out how can I be successful in a female-dominated kind of workforce. And the reality is more women are moving into white-collar jobs than men, right? And so I'm trying to wrap my head around the kind of advice that you women need to be successful, because in a lot of ways you're doing the right kinds of, you're doing what you need to do to be successful in the workforce, but you're applying it to your education right now. I mean, you're studying, you're working in groups, you're very focused, very determined, statistically, right? So, I mean, I think, just kind of taking the same approach that you're taking to your education is the approach that you need to take to being employed and being in the workplace. I mean, the reality is, you're going to run into discrimination, like, because you're a woman, because you're whatever, just like anyone else will. So I think what the other panelist has said is true. I mean, kind of set expectations for yourself, just how much you want to earn. Do your homework, do your research, right? So if you want to be a high school principal, for example, right, and you're going to be offered a certain salary, do your research, right? Look at what they're paying high school principals in your school district, at that, within your state, in your region, and so that you can have an intelligent conversation about what you should be earning as a high school principal. So certainly do your homework, be prepared, be prepared to have conversations about, compensation equity, definitely. But in terms of being successful and kind of thriving in a male-dominated environment, I think that one of the most important things that you can do is not focus too much on that, because then you'll create kind of this atmosphere where you set up the boys versus girls kind of mentality. And so if you put men in that kind of position, what's going to happen, right? Then they're going to want to exert their influence, and then you create a very kind of intense working environment. So just, I would say, just kind of stay true to yourself, kind of make wise decisions, be intelligent and strategic about, the way that you kind of approach conversations with potential employers or supervisors if you do have concerns about compensation. So just have it be grounded in fact and not emotion and anecdotes. Like, look, I'm the only woman in this department. I should be earning X number. It needs to be grounded in facts, right? In the data. So,
Thank you so much. Everybody good? Okay. One
Can I
more
just
thing?
add one more thing to that?
Sure.
Just one more thing. And I think you guys were all required to take student success, right? So you learned about the Career Center, and you learned that you have those resources available.
Awesome, very good, yes. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's open the floor. I see a hand here and a hand here. We got some on this side. Name and campus?
Hi, my name is Jaditza Rivera, and I am from East Campus. I have a question about dealing with stress and anxieties, and a lot of my family has not been through college, so they don't really understand what it is to juggle college and school and my hobbies. I like being in plays and singing, and there's a lot of things that I like to do, and I want to do all of it. So how do you deal with becoming successful and staying on the right track and actually reaching your goals and not letting your anxiety drown you?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I would just say, just surround yourself with supportive people, right? I mean, that is really, really important, right? Attitudes are contagious, right? And so I try to have a circle or a network of friends and kind of professionals and people that I trust that I can go to when I just feel like, I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to reach my goals. And read a lot. Read about successful people. That has been very helpful to me. Reading about the lives that other people lead. And because what you'll realize is that none of us are perfect, right? We all make mistakes, and 90% of our success depends on our reaction to the mistakes and the challenges and the difficult times that we experience in our lives, right? But the way that you get through those difficult times is just by remaining hopeful, right? And then so you need people who are like-minded to help you and kind of remind you of those kinds of things. And that's where a spouse or kind of a partner can be really important, right? So you want to have positive people in your life, and certainly, your spouse or your partner is you're going to spend the most amount of time with that person. So choose wisely.
For me, it's letting your purpose drive you. You're going to be stressed out. I mean, stress happens. You have to kind of have in your back pocket a way that you deal with stress. If you do, if you don't, then you have to say, like, is this stress worth my vision? My manager often says, God didn't bless you with my vision, Poppy. So she'll go from point A to point C, and I'll walk in on W, and she'll be like, don't worry about it, I got this. It's like, you sure? Because it looks like you're a little stressed out. Your hair isn't like it was this morning. I don't say it. I know better. I do. I don't say it. But she's motivated by her vision. She's motivated by her purpose. And so if she's stressed and we know it, it doesn't matter. She doesn't necessarily have that outlet. But if you know what you're here for, you know what your purpose is, then it makes the stress work. So sometimes you have to deal with it. It's just going to be a fact of life. If you go on to have children, you don't get to say, you guys go away for an hour and a half. I'm going to work. So you have to be able to balance that. It's just a way, a thing that's going to have to happen.
I think there were two parts in that question, and one of them was about your anxiety and the pressure that you're under, but also the cultural difference between who you are and your family's history and background. And that's a big thing. And it sounds like you're carrying the weight of the things that they didn't achieve. And you can't carry that weight. It's their lives. Most of it's doing a great job. I'm sure watching you be successful makes them very happy. As in terms of your own personal anxiety, just know where you're going, know what you're doing, and know that it's worthwhile. If you honestly believe that what you're doing is worthwhile, then be confident in it. Just know very clearly what your path is and follow it.
We have a question here, Jen.
Hi, my name is Cynthia. I'm from West Campus, and I'm going to be a doctor. And I know surgery especially is male-dominated, and they're more sought after than male surgeons. So I was wondering if you guys had some type of more respect or more confidence in trusting male professional versus a female professional?
Good question. We're gonna keep it real here today.
Absolutely. If you're a professional, hopefully I'm going to trust you. I mean, I'm skeptical of professionals in general. So personally, no. Do I know people who would prefer to get a massage from a woman than a man and things like that? Absolutely. But in terms of personally respecting one over the other, that's not something that would impact me.
Yeah, and I would even say, even if I agree. I would be looking at your credentials. I would be looking at your, if there were any complaints filed against you, if you were going to do some significant surgery on me. Well, that's just, but you know what? Absolve yourself of the notion that it matters, right? I mean, so if there's someone who doesn't want you to operate on them because they're a woman, that's their problem, right? Let them continue to deal with that, disease or whatever the issue is. So, yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, I would say don't worry about that. Just pursue your dreams, right? Because there are going to be women who prefer a woman doctor. Just like, so, yeah, I mean, in large part, I don't think that matters too much. Most reasonable people aren't going to be concerned with the sex of their physician. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much.
Well, to put you at ease, me personally, I prefer a female doctor.
All right. Okay, final question.
Hi, my name is Gabrielle, and I'm from both campuses, I guess. But my question is, I don't know if you all have a daughter, but I come from a woman household. I've been raised by all women, so I don't have any man perspective. But if there was one thing, like one piece of advice that you could give your daughter, even if you don't have one, like every day, what would you want her to think of in the back of her head? Like literally that one piece of advice.
Did you know that was my final concluding question? That was divine. That was divine. Thank you for that. Nice way to round it out.
Well, for me, that's an easy question because I have daughters, and I grew up in a household, a lot of aunts, my wife, a lot of sister-in-laws. So I'm around a lot of strong women all the time, so I'm accustomed to that. I'm not intimidated. But if I had to give my daughter one advice is just don't take any shit from any man. Or anyone, right?
Anyone, right.
Anyone. I'm going to go with that. That was great. I'm going to go back, honestly, I'm going to go back to my mother. My mother was super strong, and I have two daughters, and I've always wanted for them to believe that they are strong, that they can take it, whatever it is, that they can take it, and that's what.
I'm on the don't have a daughter, hopefully not for a while. My parents used to tell my sister this, and it's resonated with me, but it's, am I going to be embarrassed or ashamed to tell my parents about this at the end of the day?
I don't have any daughters either. I have 3 boys. But I would tell, if I had a daughter, I would say the same thing to her. And that's just, I mean, I think he said it, just respect yourself. And people will, they'll see, when you respect yourself, they know it. I mean, people get it. I mean, people only know who you are, when you tell them. And it's not always verbal. You're not always telling people who you are, in a verbal sense, right? And so I would just say respect yourself. I mean, think about the way that you carry yourself, think about what you're about, and also think about the kind of legacy you want to leave for your family, for your children, right? I always tell my kids to think about kind of the story that they're writing in their lives, and they're like, what? Right? They're 8, 6, and 1, right? But they'll get it. Right? Eventually they'll get it. So that's what I would say if I had a daughter.
Well, man, thank you for keeping it real and for being real men. Women, did we get some good advice today? Yeah? Let's give one big round of applause, last round of applause for At this time, Dr. Carter has a presentation for us.
Ladies, how did y'all enjoy the speakers, the panelists? Hope you got some of your questions answered. If not, we want you to jot them down. We're going to have something, maybe you can send them all to us. And then if we ever do something like this again, that we would have those questions. But we really want to thank our panelists for being here. With my committee members, I put out the call and readily got guys who were willing to step up and put themselves in a little bit uncomfortable situation in a room full of women. So I appreciate them being here with us on a Friday afternoon to share with us. So on behalf of Bridges to Success, the staff and the students, we just want to present you all with a little certificate of appreciation in grateful recognition of your service and support of the Female Empowerment Symposium, Real Men, Real Talk. Mr. Dion Felto. Mr. Jorge Veladrez. Mr. Leonard Bass. And Mr. Jason Horton. And Jason, can you come and get a picture with just all of them? Oh, sorry, I'm making me nervous. Sorry. All right. All right. One more. He's for real. Thank you guys to our guests. Y'all can sit with us if y'all need to. If y'all need to leave and get out the kitchen, I understand. But you're welcome to stay. We're gonna segue into the door prizes before we take the break and dismiss you to the breakout session where we will continue some of these conversations and themes that we started. So don't leave. No, you can leave. But now we're gonna have Miss Godfrey come forward and she's gonna do the door prizes. You have the tickets. Can y'all give me the tickets, please? Here, you get your tickets out, ladies, your raffle tickets.
Get your raffle tickets out. I'm only gonna read the number twice, quickly, because we've got about 30 to give away. And I think it's supposed to rain today, so y'all may get the Bala umbrella. It's a good one, I have it. It's an excellent umbrella, so I hope you win. No laptop.
What are you looking for, Carissa? Don't worry about it, we'll use the box, baby.
Boom. All right. Oh. All right. So I'm just picking. Javon. Busted. All right. All right. We ready?
I got my ticket, my bad.
All right. We're going to alternate. Okay. First number. 779697. 779697. Come on, girl. Come on. No, all right, moving on. All right, 779359. 779359.
Nope. Moving on. 779352. 779352. Come on, quickly. No, we're gonna try not to win Osceola everything. 779579. 79. All right. 779632. 9632. Where is everybody? All right.
The boys kept them tickets. Y'all, what y'all?
779355. 55. Come on. 779223. 23. 223. 779359. 359. 359. Okay. I'm only calling them twice. 779301. 301. Come on. Okay, grab your gift. Go ahead. 223. 223. Okay, umbrellas. Make sure you're giving. Okay. Go ahead. 779354. 354 is the last three digits. All right. 779358. 358. 779290. 290. All right. 779357. 357. Like the group. 357. You know them. That was my group. 357. Okay. 779288. 288. 288. Go ahead, Shona. Okay. 779596. 596. It's a towel for the bag, babe. 779706. 706. You dropped your phone, boo. Okay. 706. All right. 779603. 603. I don't understand. 779298. 298. All right, let's go. Y'all need to be excited to get free stuff. They don't be caring. They don't be caring. 779238. 238. 238. All right. They didn't keep the ticket. 779661. 661. 779237. 237. All right. Osceola. Because we're responsible at Osceola. 779594. 594. Yes, 594. Let's 779574. 574. 779310. 310. 310. 779-595. 595. Come on, girl. Okay. 779-324. 324. 324. 779-278. 278. 278. 779-361. 361. I got two more. 779-322. 322. 322. 322. All right, girl. 779-663. And then one more. This is the last one. Right. 779-732. Woo! Go ahead, girl! Woo! Go ahead. All right. She won. She did that. All right, ladies. Okay. So we're getting ready to take a break, but before we take the break, we want to introduce you to the moderators for your breakout sessions. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I miss anybody. So your first moderator, it will be Miss Tracy Godfrey. Tracy, come get your folder. Tracy, come get your folder. Your second moderator is Miss Ty Johnson. Come on, get your folder. And then you have Miss Jennifer Mesquite. Hope I'm pronouncing it properly. What is it? Mesquita. Sorry. I'm always jacking people's names up. Sorry. Then we have Miss Latasha Graham. And then we have Miss Javon Alexander. Sorry. That's all the moderators. Right. The sign out sheet will be in the room that you're going to, so you have to make sure you sign out. Also, make sure if you're going to go, you only have 10 minutes, but they have the breakout rooms for the HIV testing. 3232, 5146, C, 7107A, 7108C, SSB 245, 7209, and building 7232. So all of these rooms will be offering the free HIV testing. First 100 people to get tested will get a free $10 gift card. All testing is confidential, okay? So they also have, there's classrooms too that are offering HIV testing. 7233, building 7, room 230, and building 7, room 231. I would like for us to try to break our record. I think last time we had about 80 people to get tested. Let's try to beat that. Let's try to get 100 or more tested today. It's important to know your status. It doesn't matter. We're not advocating anything. Let me be clear. But it is always important to know your status. So at this time, we're going to take your, oh, hold on. Oh, okay. Yes. You should have the your room number attached to your program. Don't try to go to another room, because if you do, the room is going to be full and then you're going to be trying to look around. go to the room that's attached to your flyer. You only have 10 minutes. If you get there late, the door is going to be locked, and you will not get credit for receiving.
Stay seated. Stay seated.
Stay here. Stay here, because this is also going to be divided, and you'll have your side. So if you don't have a room number, stay here. Everybody else should have a room number. We've been here since 7 this morning. We worked on this. Okay? So if you don't have one, you stay here. Your session will be in this room. Okay?
If you don't have a pamphlet, I have one.
Huh?
If they don't have one, I have one.
Right, and if you don't have a program, we have some. Okay? Now, Ms. Julek should have given the moderators their rooms, right? You guys know where you're going. Okay, just want to be clear. All right? Anything else that I'm missing? Okay, hold on. Hold your seat. Ms. Joy got it.
Okay, ladies, I had mentioned this earlier, but for those of you who came in a little late, I'm just going to reinforce. I am from Department of Health, and we do have workers here who will be providing HIV STD screening. So when you go to your breakout sessions, we do have people in the building. So if, for example, you are staying in this building for your breakout session, in building 7 next door, we have testing, and the room numbers are listed. They are waiting, and they are ready for you guys. And as Dr. Carter mentioned, I'm pretty sure in her email, we are giving out $10 gift cards to Publix. So you all can eat, okay? And they will be here until 5 p.m. today. Okay?
Guys, hold on. We're going to release you by your room number. Hold on. HSB 105. Those who are in HSB 105 with Ms. Godfrey, you can be dismissed at this time. HSB 105. Okay? HSB 105. Move quickly, ladies. HSB 105. Okay. Building 5, room 111. Miss Latasha, Building 5, room 111. Building 5, room 111. Program? But that room that Tasha's in is a big room now. It's the stadium room, yeah. Yeah. Building 3, room 111, Miss Mosquita. Building 3, room 111. We don't have nobody, building 3? 8, all of you guys are still 8111? That doesn't even halfway seem right. That's why, because the rest of yeah, they didn't do it full portion. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Starting with green shirt right here. And all those rows, y'all need to go to HSB 105. Go, all of you guys, HSB 105. Those 3 rows. Okay, the last 3 rows right here, you guys go to HSB 105 as well. Last 3 rows. Where's the...
They were supposed to be here.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, now, those of you who are on this side, this is the side you're going to be on, and you'll be with Miss Ty Johnson, okay? So you guys will be with her. Those of you who are on this side, the room will be split in a few minutes because I'm going to let you take a break and get up and walk around. You will be on this side with Miss Javon. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, so you guys go ahead and take your break. Remember what side you were on.